Hi guys, welcome to the Rose Enthusiast channel. If you are new here, my name is Florina and I'm making weekly videos about how I'm building my dream rose garden, how I'm taking care of my roses and what varieties I'm selecting. For today's episode, I was thinking to put together a list of 10 pruning mistakes that are very easy to make when pruning your roses. Here in the UK is the perfect time for pruning roses, so I hope some of the today's points will help you to avoid those pruning mistakes and will help you to have very beautiful roses come June. So let's start. So the first mistake is pruning too early in the freezing weather or pruning too late. Sometimes we as gardeners, we get so impatient to get outside into the garden and to start working on something, especially if we get a nice sunny day. But you should always be aware of your climate and know if a hard frost is possible. Frost can damage the fresh cuts, so it's better to wait. You have to avoid cutting roses while they are fully dormant. Let them to have a good rest. Do not wake them up by pruning them before the weather is warm enough so they can fully thrive. What to do instead is choose a dry, mild day with no hard frost forecast and hold the pruning until you will see the signs that the roses are actually waking up, the buds start swelling and the new growth appears. On to the other side, one mistake can be to prune roses too late into the season. Too late means after they already push strong growth. The rose is already leafy and actively growing. You can see flower buds are forming and you are close to the early summer. If you cut at this stage, you are removing growth that the plant already worked very hard to produce. This can delay flowering, will bring softer regrowth and stress during hot weather. At this point, it's better to lightly shape, remove dead or weakened growth, and avoid heavy cutting. The second mistake is one that is very easy to do, especially if you are a beginner, and that is pruning all roses the same way and at the same time. Let me break it down. If you prune all your roses at the same time and you have a rambling rose, you might not get any flowers that year. Most rambling roses flower on the previous year growth, so they need pruning straight away after flowering. Regarding the topic of pruning all roses the same way, this is a very wide topic, but mainly you need to know the difference between the four main categories. Hybrid tea, they need harder pruning for strong stems. Floribundas, they need moderate pruning to encourage clusters. Shrub roses or English roses, they need a lighter shaping to maintain fullness. And climbers, they need a completely different method. They require training, not just cutting. By pruning in the wrong way, you will reduce flowering or you might get a different bloom type that you are expecting from that rose. Different roses bloom differently. Each type has a different flowering habit. If you prune everything like a hybrid tea, meaning hard and low, in that case Floribundas may lose their natural cluster display, shrub roses may produce fewer flowers, and you might delay blooming unnecessarily. If you have done it already, don't panic. Roses are tough plants and they will adjust next season. I'm sure this topic deserves his own video, but to keep it short, here are some basic rules. Hybrid tea, they need harder pruning for strong stems. Floribundas, they need moderate pruning to encourage clusters. The flowers are on new shoots, but those shoots emerge from established canes. Completely removing all older framework every year can reduce performance. They prefer high reduction by about a third or half. Shrub roses or English roses, they need a lighter shape to maintain fullness. And climbers, do not cut the long stem. This will be the base, the frame, and you will cut only the lateral growth. Here are some images from a climbing rose, Marie Delany. The next mistake is not removing dead, disease, or damaged wood first. The first thing when assessing the rows, you should look for dead, disease, or damaged wood and eliminate those first thing. You cannot jump right into shaping the bush if you are shaping woody canes that shouldn't be there. Always start with the 3Ds before anything else, and after that you can clearly see what is left and how you can give that rose a balanced shape. Leaving dead canes on a rose might not seem urgent, but over time it can cause several problems, like poor air circulation. The disease risk increase because the dead wood can harbor fungal spores like black spot or dieback. They can trap moisture and they can spread infection into healthy tissue. Dead stems create hiding spots for roses, stem borers, aphids, or overwintering insects. They love dry, hollow wood. Dead canes are often the starting point of dieback, especially here in damp UK conditions. Another mistake very related to the one before is being afraid to prune at all. Like I have shown in the previous images, those are some footage from a public rose garden. Not pruning a rose at all can result in very overgrown bush. Canes go long and thin because the plant stretches upwards and the base becomes woody and bare. This will also lead to a very poor air circulation and will make the rose prone to disease and increase pest problems. All the flowers will be smaller, fewer, and only at the top. Remember that pruning encourages healthier growth and better blooms. The seventh mistake is to use blunt or dirty tools. Always keep clean pruners, disinfect when going from one rose to another to avoid spreading disease, and make sure they are well sharpened and you are not crushing canes when cutting. You need a clean cut every single time. Currently I am using some Wilkinson sword pruning shears and some loppers for thicker canes. I am also using some isopropyl alcohol to disinfect between each rose and of course my pruning gloves. I will try to link everything that I am using here below if you are interested to check them. The eighth mistake is cutting too close to the bud or cutting too far above the bud. When there isn't enough stem left above the bud, the cut can damage the bud tissue and the bud may shrivel and turn brown. If you cut too far above the bud, you leave a long stub that can die back. To fix or avoid those two mistakes, aim for about 1/4 of an inch, 5 to 7 millimeters above the bud. The ninth mistake is ignoring crossing branches. When two canes cross, they rub together and the bark gets scraped. Open wounds form and this is an entry point for black spot, canker or other fungal issues. It's a slow damage but very real. You should remove all the crossing canes to reduce friction. And the 10th mistake is not cleaning all leaves and canes after pruning. This can also keep and spread disease and pests from one season to another. Have a clean, tidy space around the roses, and if you can, apply some fresh mulch right after pruning. I hope you enjoyed today's video and you learned something. If you do, I would love you to hit like and subscribe if you are not subscribed already. This will tell YouTube that this video was useful and it's most probably it will be recommended to other rose lovers. So that was all for today. I hope you will have a nice week. Bye!